Okay, so we are live. Thank you, my friend Daniel. Thank you, Dr. Rob Kutz, for accepting our invitation. Welcome to Brazil, even if it is virtual, but you are in Brazil now.
Ah, I love Brazil. I haven't been there yet, but I visualize it, and I know they have a lot of really great meat there and great
Yeah,
people there. So it's a pleasure. Thank you so much for this amazing invitation.
thank you very much. Meu amigo Daniel, just speak in Portuguese just a little. Meu amigo Daniel, muito obrigado por ter aceitado fazer o co-host aqui com a gente. Eu creio que vai ser uma live muito legal e a gente vai deixar isso gravado, tá? O pessoal poder assistir a gente e poder ficar com a tradução também. So let's begin. My friend Daniel, you can begin your sequence of questions you have for Dr. Kiltz.
Thank you. Broadcasting from three countries. It's a three-country live broadcasting. Again,
Yeah.
thank you, Dr. Kiltz, for accepting the invitation to have this conversation with us to broadcast to US, Canada, and Brazil. Welcome, everyone, to today's special live. I'm really excited to have you here. Alongside Henrique Altran from his channel Rebelião Saudável, and we have the honor to interview a truly inspiring guest. Dr. Kiltz is a board-certified reproductive endocrinologist, the founder of CNY Fertility. I believe it's the sixth largest and one of the most affordable fertility clinics in the US, and a leading voice in the intersection of fertility, metabolic health, and nutrition. He's a passionate advocate for the ketogenic lifestyle and the author of several books, including Kiltz, Keto is Carnivore, The Fertile Feast, and The Keto Cure, and Living Your Best Life. Dr. Kiltz believes that food is the most powerful medicine and has helped thousands of people reclaim their health, energy, and fertility. Outside medicine, Dr. Kiltz is a pilot and a ceramic artist, bringing creativity, balance, and curiosity to everything he does. Is this a fair statement and a fair introduction, Dr. Kiltz?
That was very generous and kind, and I appreciate you sharing those things. And you're true. I am passionate about everything I do. I keep on learning more and more. I'll soon be 70. I'm almost 15 years carnivore, and I'm on day 10 of no food and feel amazing and energetic. It's crazy.
Oh, you're on a 10-day fasting.
10 days of a 14, actually 15-day fast. I'm doing it in order to prove something that I think we don't realize the power of fasting. We can all do it. It's easy. And the only fuel for the Ferrari is fat. We never burn sugar.
Yeah, that's
Never.
amazing. The biggest fast I did was 5 days.
Yeah, mine was 7. I do a 5 to 7 day quarterly, and I was like, you know what? I got to test. I got a glucose monitoring. I'm doing my daily ketone strips in my urine, and I'm measuring my weight and my energy. And I'm drinking a little bit of electrolyte mix. I've had a few cups of coffee from day to day, but not every day. And I got to tell you, my energy's never felt better. And just doing I go to work, I do my walking, my weights, and it's energy. And I'm doing 14 days. I'm going to do 15 actually. And it's a game changer that I don't think we utilize as a hack for our health as much as we should.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
you're right.
Absolutely. So I'm going to start with the first question. Can you tell us your story? How did you become a reproductive fertility specialist, and how did you actually, if you can start, how you decided to go to med school?
Well, I'll kind of start with my basic elevator speech. I was born and raised in Los Angeles, California. I was kicked out of school in a gang, couldn't read, father in jail. I grew up with terrible migraines, bowel problems. I was completely incorrigible. You couldn't keep me still. Probably should have been on drugs. I couldn't read at all. But I turned out I was good at mathematics, but I didn't really know it either. And through my growing up and suffering for years, I managed to break a leg in junior college while I was mostly an artist doing pottery painting because I didn't know what the heck I wanted to do. At 19, I broke a leg. I met a hippie doctor, a really cool guy. I was really impressed. I said, you know what? I want to be a doctor like that. He was a family doc. I went to the counselor's office and looked at the books, asked the people what it took, and I was like, I can't do this because I can't read. But I was very, very dedicated to do it. My sister Marianne had diabetes since age 4. I saw her suffering. Eventually, she died at 52 of heart failure from all the diabetic complications. And in medical school, I did really well because I had fun. I did pottery, met some amazing people there. Another good friend of mine died just before medical school at 28 of glioblastoma. And I think about him every single day, and he inspires me. And I'm a standard eater for years. I'm Italian upbringing, grew up in LA. Every food you can imagine I ate. I love cooking. I love wine. I love all the cooking shows. And I managed to go to medical school. I loved obstetrics and gynecology. I loved delivering babies. I was a surgeon because I was a mechanic. I loved to work on cars and build things and everything. And I did a year of internal medicine, then OBGYN. And I was practicing for a year in Northern California after my residency in Colorado. And I met a doctor, Kurt Klooster. He turned me on to fertility. I got a cold call one day, say, hey, do you want to do a fellowship? So I did a fellowship in fertility. It was interesting, but I didn't love it completely. And I wound up moving from California, upstate New York, where I lived in a small town. I practiced OBGYN, I practiced fertility, and I started CNY Fertility after getting fired from a job at age 41. I had no idea what to do. So I decided I don't want to work for anyone else anymore, so I started CNY Fertility. Now, initially standard doc, but over the years, 25 years ago, I found paleo diet personally from some of my patients getting pregnant on paleo diet. Now, I had already begun to integrate acupuncture, massage, meditation, prayer, all sorts of non-Western medical things to the practice, and people were getting some help with that. But I dug into paleo diet, and then I found keto diet, and then I found carnivore. Now, interesting enough, about that same time, I developed more diseases, depression, anxiety, worry, fear, but arthritis, psoriasis, kidney stones, bowel bleeding. My migraines were worse. I go to the doctors. I was on all these drugs for so many years. And I started paleo. I got a little bit better. Then I started keto. I got even better. And then I went carnivore after I saw some dude on like the internet. He was ripped. He didn't exercise and he only ate meat. And I said, bingo, that one's for me. I did it. In like a month, all of it was gone. And it was amazing. And I've basically dug deep into this topic of including faith first, food second, and fertile fitness. I used to run a ton. I don't do that. I do walking, weights, meditation, prayer, 100 push-ups a day. I typically eat one meal a day. It's fatty meat or bacon, eggs, butter, beef, and salt, which spells out baby's diet, by the way, because a little bit my job. And you know, I got to tell you, this community really it's opened up since COVID because we were all shut down, and then I found a community online, and I'm like, you know what? I found so many amazing people all around the globe. We need to do something to change the world, and social media I call the new social medicine. And I've written books, I blog. At 20 years ago I was doing blogs and poetry and talking about all the Eastern stuff. Now I'm integrating nutrition, but still talking about all that stuff. And this is kind of my jam in life. I learned to fly at 55, jets at 62. I keep on like loving to go to work every day and tweaking. I think the science of even carnivore is mostly wrong anyway, but I love talking about that stuff and going out there and doing it.
When was it, if I may ask, when did you start transitioning to a paleo and then keto and eventually carnivore?
Well, probably about 20 years ago, 20, even maybe 25 years ago, I was in Atkins, Weight Watchers. I was like a crazy runner. And then about 20, I found paleo, quickly found keto, and then found carnivore. So I call myself an almost 15-year carnivore, truly. But interesting enough, my undergrad degree was in biology, but I focused on nutritional biochemistry with Dr. Medusky, and I did research and worked in that area. But I learned all the pathways of standard stuff, which I'd kind of throw most of it out today and think it's all snake oil stuff.
And at that time, you were still in Syracuse?
I grew up in Los Angeles, so I'm in LA.
Oh, the clinic you opened in Syracuse, right?
Oh, I opened in Syracuse back in 1997. And I never intended to make it one of the biggest places in America. I just wanted to do my little stuff here. But people kept on coming and asked me, can you come here and here and here? And I'm just like, oh my God, of course we'll come and help you and do this. I have no venture capital money. I kind of do this on my own with the best way I can. And I work with people in every culture, economic status. It doesn't matter who you are. My job is to help you have a baby. If I could do it naturally, I'm going to help you do it naturally first.
Awesome. So you first turn your own health, like getting away from SAD to paleo, and then progressively going to low carb, keto, and eventually carnivore. When did you notice that could apply the same technique, or can you tell us your first approach? Because at that time, especially 25 years ago, there wasn't any, as you said, Sean Baker or celebrities doing carnivore going to Joe Rogan. So how did you, first of all, a lot of people thought, hey, Dr. Kurtz is going nuts a little bit, right? So, and then motivating people, women, to go very low carb, ketogenic, and then there's any success, the first cases of success in a clinic.
Well, I'm kind of an energetic guy, and I'm very passionate about what I do. I think I've always been that way. And when I found faith and spirituality, I immersed myself in. I found the power of positive thinking with The Secret and many other things. I grew up Catholic. I didn't believe in God because I thought science answered all the questions. And then I finally understood the power of the belief in God, which is the power of belief in each and every one of us. And I used to do seminars and retreats on meditation, yoga, prayer, mindset, and things like that. That was like 20 plus years ago. And then as I jumped into and found paleo and keto and carnivore, I just immersed myself in all of it. And so again, I didn't talk enough about the carnivore because people already thought I was crazy doing meditation, yoga, prayer, but because I run a standard medical practice and I kind of had to keep it afloat. And it was probably when I said, you know what, shit with that. Let's integrate all of it and let's really be passionate and talk about that. But it was through, I don't know, nobody invented any of this stuff. It's been around for like infinite time anyway. Yeah. But when I used to be Atkins and Weight Watchers, and I was crazy about my physique and all that stuff. But it really, COVID kind of woke me up even more. And then I found online stuff, and then I met people like yourselves and many other people like Sean Baker and Anthony Chafee and Lisa Wiedemann. I go down the list. I don't have anyone that I could say. I mean, I just kind of found this from what was out there, from transitioning paleo, keto, carnivore on the internet, and so, you know, I went to medical school to be a doctor to help people. My good friend Jim Slotnick died at 28 in his third year of medical school of glioblastoma, an amazing guy. Don't know why he died. My good friend Dave Kilmer died at 52 of lymphoma. He was a healthy dude, ripped, just positive and everything, big family. And I began to ask the question, why? And my sister died of diabetes. So I went on the hunt to figure out why meat is masterful and plants are poisonous. And we make all this keto and all this science about switching from sugar to fat. It's all bullshit. Sorry. And that obesity causes disease, which it does not. Plants are poisonous and meat is masterful. There's no poison in meat. There's plenty of poisons in plants. And for the real question is, why do some people get disease and other people don't? The answer is, we do not know.
Yeah.
We don't know it. Is it your genetics or is it the environment? Well, it's both. It's always both, right? But it does no help to argue about whether you're going to get disease or not. Don't you want to live your best and figure out that if you're sick, what can I do to heal? And what I finally figured out is that we are omnivores. We can eat anything. You could be a vegan, you could be a carnivore. Remember, plant eaters or animal eaters, that's who we are. Or you could eat both. But if nobody's allergic to ribeye steak,
Yeah.
there are infinite people allergic to plants. Now, what's the definition of an allergy? Damage, disease, dysfunction to a cell, an organ, an organism, redness, heat, swelling, pain, dysfunction, death of the cell, the organ, the organism. Doesn't that sound like everything that's happening to us? You and I might not see it on the outside, but I dig deep and figure out, okay, my friend Dave Kilmer died of cancer. He must have had some allergic reaction to something that he was breathing, drinking, eating, or managed to get through his skin. And why he and not someone else? I call it the 10% rule. What percentage of tobacco smokers get lung cancer? 10%. Now, that doesn't mean they don't get other diseases, but it's 10%. And so, you know, again, my job is to look at you as a human being and analyze why you might have gotten a disease. And I'm critical at that. So, you know, it's always a hard one to know exactly when. But in the 4th grade, Mrs. Hafner embarrassed me in front of the class when she kissed me and hugged me and told me I'm amazing and I'm smart. Nobody's ever told me that. I was a math whiz. I did not know that. But I couldn't read, so I couldn't even answer a math question with written, you know, a language question rather than just numbers. And eventually I found my way to pottery in age 16 in high school in Los Angeles by Mrs. Wong. And I learned to center myself because I'm really good at pottery because I was good with my hands. I'm a surgeon. And then eventually through bumps in the road and twists and turns, a police officer in Los Angeles arrested me at age like 14. He said, jail or fix your problem. But he cared about me. I fixed my problem. And I hunkered down. I had amazing, loving parents. They had their own troubles. They died at 94. They had high cholesterol. 94, amazing. And so my quest is to question even our carnivore science or keto science. It's wrong most of the time, in my opinion. So, you know, what am I alive to do? Watch TV, you know, go sit on a boat and watch the waves and the wind? No, we're alive to carry out God's work to help humans and humanity be healthier, build stronger lives, families, and live better for all of us.
Absolutely. I love your approach about talk about spirituality and all the other pillars is down with food. But what do you mean about it's wrong most of the time? What do you mean about? Can you give us more?
I mean, what's wrong with it? Was I said
Yeah,
again?
the carnivore science,
You
the
said the
keto
carnivore.
science.
Yeah. It's wrong most of the
What
time. What do you mean?
what's the fuel for mitochondria? Is it sugar or fat or both?
Both.
Is
Both, but fat.
it's only fat, and so and then everyone talks about ketosis. Well, ketones are always present in the human body. They're never absent because the liver makes ketones out of fat basically. And in the function of the liver, what's the function of the liver?
Well,
Detox?
several.
What does it detox and what disease do you know that doesn't detox?
I'm feeling that I am na
No, no,
test.
no. Your answer is perfect. No, no, no. No,
Chris,
because there isn't one. Because a type 1 diabetic with no insulin is skinny after weeks or months without insulin.
Yeah.
A cirrhotic patient also is skinny on a standard diet, yet they have insulin. So my theory is that the liver's job is to make fat out of amino acids, simple sugars via insulin. Insulin's job is to make fat by converting amino acids and sugars in liver to fat. Insulin is not a glucose regulating hormone. So I am 10 days no food. What's my insulin? It's under
very,
one. It's about
yeah,
0.2. It's very low.
very low and very steady.
What's my glucose?
Should
It's
know.
70. It's 70 or below. It's been 45. How do I feel? Amazing.
Great.
Never feel like, oh, I got low sugar. I better get some sugar. Ever. Well, wait a minute. What's the mitochondria using as energy? I've lost 10 pounds in 10 days, by the way.
Yeah, fat.
What does that tell you?
No question about
Adipose tissue.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
Adipose tissue. What's that?
Stored energy.
Stored building blocks and energy, both. Okay? So when a bear hibernates for 6 months, it loses no muscle mass, no bone mass. It only loses adipose tissue, and it builds 1 to 4 bears in utero. It didn't eat, piss, or poop. Okay? So wait a minute. I thought if you starve yourself for a month, 2 or 3, you're going to lose muscle mass. How come a bear doesn't?
Stored
You're-
energy.
Well, yeah. So, but think of it. It's not as we think of fat as a fatty acid molecule, right? But is adipose tissue only fatty acid molecules? They're not.
No, you have glycerol.
They have amino acids, simple sugars, fatty acids, minerals, vitamins. Okay? So think of an adipose site like a chylomicron or a very low density lipoprotein. Okay, so now what do you know about the glycocalyx, the sugar layer that's really critical in every single cell of our body? It's the sugars that are the barcode that say friend or foe, in or out, the transmitter and the receiver of every cell. Your blood type is determined by a protein or a sugar.
Sugar.
Sugar. The human leukocyte antigen is a sugar.
Yeah.
So think of sugars like plants. They're the glycobiome, the glycans. If there were no plants out in the wilderness, would there be any life?
Probably not.
No, I don't know. Not at all.
So remember, the plants also have roots that hold the soil, and they also hold the water, and the plants change the local environment. What if the glycobiome within you and within every organism of the universe, every animal, microbe, macrobe, has a glycobiome that's unique to it? And your glycobiome determines what you look like, who and what you are, how things function, and even the ability of food to get through the epithelial layer or the microbes. And the microbes have the ability to change their glycobiome and mimic self so they get right by every immune system of your body. How many people talk about the glycocalyx and the glycobiome in carnivore and ketovore?
Nah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody. We've made, look at, see, I think the science is simple, not complicated. What poison comes from ribeye steak?
Nothing. I know. Zero.
Now, do most people eat fatty meat or lean meat?
Very lean. Yeah.
Chicken, fish, turkey, filet is all lean. And the food, the meat we buy is mostly the fat's gone.
Yeah.
Now, what other animal cooks their food?
None. The only one.
So when you cook things or heat them up or light fire to your house, is it usable afterwards?
No. You can
Nope.
transfer heat. Yeah.
Yeah. But that I might disagree a little bit, because I think if you over cook it, you might destroy a lot of things. But I've seen some studies that when you cook it, you might even your digestive process might even absorb more nutrients, not to let alone avoid pathogens.
Not meat,
But
but plants. You see, so where are most of the microbes living out there? Are they living inside the ribeye steak, or they're living all over the plants?
all over the place.
All over the plants. Remember, the cow's gut is built to reduce and or eliminate the microbes from getting through the gut. So the meat you eat is devoid of microbes, unless it's poorly processed and it's delivered to you contaminated.
Yeah.
And then it stays like days in the fridge in the supermarket, of course.
Okay, now what about the plants? Are they sterile, or are they mostly contaminated with microbes?
Even worse, not to mention the artificial pesticides and
Well,
everything.
let's not talk about those yet, because where do the majority of pesticides come from?
From themselves, natural.
Plants,
The
plants
plants
themselves,
themselves, yeah,
right? 99.9. Ames shared with us 99.9% of the pesticides come from the plants. Heroin, cocaine, marijuana, nicotine, caffeine. Is that man-made or plant-made?
Plant-made.
Okay, so how many times do you find plants being recalled for contamination? Okay, so remember, are the microbes everywhere? Everywhere. Correct?
Correct.
So you and I and all animals have a mechanism through the GI tract to reduce or eliminate the ability those microbes get through the epithelium. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. So plants have some mechanisms also, but the plants are exposed to piss and poop and all the dust and dirt. But the animals in general have the ability to reduce or eliminate the ingestion of those into the bloodstream, into the organs that we eat. Correct?
Correct.
Now, how many of us are getting the cow a colon cut fresh, delivered to your house, and you eat it whole and raw? Would you
Zero.
ever do that? No,
No.
we don't do that. we go for the fatty organ meats, the fat, and the meat and the bone marrow and the brains, right? And so we made it like, oh, can you tell me the last time you saw a parasite or got contaminated or sick from a parasite in your ribeye steak? Nobody.
Yeah,
doesn't-
most of the parasites are plant-borne.
They're all plant born.
Yeah.
You see, it's all propaganda. All right. So now remember this. This is hard. What animal kills its kill and waits for the cook before it eats it?
Wait for the cook.
Nobody. All right.
No.
Yeah,
Nobody.
just us.
No other animal. But remember this. Where's the best place for the food to be? In your gut or sitting on the ground waiting for you to eat it?
In
No
my
gut.
gut, obviously.
You're right. So remember, there are infinite organisms that want to eat your kill. And if you don't eat it fast, you're dead. But again, it's true. Human beings invented or utilized or discovered the use of fire for many things. But we also figured out we could take a rocket ship to Mars. Do you really want to do that?
Take a rocket ship to
Oh
Mars.
no.
I mean, how many of us say, yeah, I'll go to Mars? The odds that that's going to be a deadly in Denver are high currently, right?
Yeah.
But ultimately, Pottinger's cats. Pottinger wrote a book about feeding cats raw meat or cooked meat, raw milk or pasteurized milk. And the cats were sick after consuming cooked and pasteurized milk. And their subsequent generations were sick. But they were healthy on raw meat, raw milk. So I believe even lightly cooked foods can harm us. Now, again, it's a little hard to think about that you're suggesting I eat raw meat, raw milk, raw eggs. I am actually. If you're not healing completely on a cooked carnivore diet, it's likely you're not getting enough fat because when you cook meat, what happens to the fat?
Yes.
It melts away. Well, what does it do to the molecular structure of the molecules that are the building blocks of your body? It damages them. Okay? So imagine if you heated up, the clothing, the wood, the steel. Now, some things get stronger, like steel, but is steel natural? Or is it man-developed, man-made?
Man developed.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. So if you dry out wood and heat it up infinite times, does it make it stronger or weaker?
Weaker.
Weaker. So people don't like the idea, well, wait a minute, you say I got to eat raw meat? You don't have to do anything. But if you're asking the question while I'm still sick and not healing, what do? I say, go to raw fatty meat, a 50-50 by weight content of fat, and eat only adipose tissue. Now, remember, is adipose tissue good for you or bad for you?
It depends of the quantity.
Yeah.
Well, a polar bear or a brown bear loses no muscle or organ mass, or bone mass. It only utilizes adipose tissue. So wouldn't adipose tissue be the healthiest thing for you because it contains every mineral, vitamin, building block of your body, and energy of your body? So again, would you say in general we're all judgmentally negative against fat? Obesity. Do we blame fat as the cause of most disease?
Yeah.
Does fat cause disease?
I don't
Or
think
in
so.
fact, what you ate caused the disease and made you fat because the body says, wait a minute, there's a lot of inflammation in your body. You're going to get sick. You're going to have to rest for a while. Let me build fat on your body so you can survive the famine, migration, hibernation, pestilence, disease. I'm 10 days in. Like, amazing. I mean, I haven't lost any muscle mass. I feel amazing. I'm bright. It's like, what? They said you can't do that. Like fasting. I mean, Jesus did 40 days and 40 nights in the desert. You know, I feel like I could do that. But if I lost 40 pounds, you know, I would be down in the 110 range. That wouldn't be kind of where I want to be personally.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Dr. Kiltz, so just coming back to your experience at the fertility clinic, can you tell us about your how did you apply the ketogenic? I think most of the time, based on your books, the ketogenic diet to couples trying to have babies and the underlying issues, both male and female, like the PCOS, endometriosis, and on the male side, the erectile dysfunction. How do you see diet, nutrition being a tool for those cases?
Sperm counts are dropping. Sexual dysfunction is rising. Can't get an erection, can't get an ejaculation. We know that motility, morphology count, everything, even sterility is on the rise for men. For women, PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, endometriosis, endometritis, tubal ovarian dysfunction. It's all uterine fibroids, adenomyosis. It's all on the rise. All disease is caused by a high plant-based sugar diet, a high plant-based chemicals that are made by plants, including estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, a high antigenic diet, which comes from plants, lectins, oxalates, phytates, and more, and the fermentation of plants in the gastrointestinal system from the mouth to the anus. What does fermentation make? It makes alcohol, aldehydes, heat, and gas. The majority of men and women's diseases are the colonic fermentation of the bacteria and viruses that make those things. The microbes crawl out the rectum anus right into the vagina, the penis. They infect the vagina, cervix, uterus, tubes, ovaries, pelvis. They infect the female urinary system, the male urinary reproductive system, and ultimately the microbes and all the other antigens and chemicals and sugars are damaging everything in our body. So I always ask people, what do you eat? And they say healthy, organic, clean. I don't know what that means, but I say, do you eat fruit, fiber, vegetables, seeds, nuts, pasta, bread, yogurt, chicken, fish, turkey? And the answer is mostly yes. And they say if I eat a high fat, I eat avocados and cashews. I say, well, wait, those are plants. That's not fat. Fat comes from an animal. Oils come from plants. And so, what I found that keto means high fat, low carbs.
Yeah.
Challenge with that is, well, that's a scientific definition, not an evolutionary definition of what you really eat, right? How do you eat? You could be keto as a vegan, vegetarian, Mediterranean, pescatarian, carnivorian, and you can eat any of those things, and even carnivore diet, and not be ketogenic.
Yeah.
A ketogenic
Absolutely.
environment means your sugars are low, ketones and high. Okay, now I haven't eaten. What's that?
Even fasting, you can eat without food like you are.
Well, here I am, 10 days into no food. My ketones are high. My sugar's low. I'm ketogenic environment right now. Let's not make it complicated. You don't have to measure anything, by the way. I just happen to be getting a CGM, but I'm playing with it right now because I want to teach you the simplicity of the story. I think a CGM is helpful for standard people to see that their sugars are always elevated, by the way. And a lot of it has to do with their guts always full of food. Full of food means always fermenting, heat, gas, alcohol, aldehydes, methane. And look at Salisbury's work and many other work. And so why keto, why carnivore, why paleo, why fasting in reproduction? Because you want to lower the inflammation in the gut first.
There you go.
I often give 30 days of an antibiotic and a fungal antiviral to kill the microbes in your gut. I don't care what your diet is. If you simply don't eat for a week, it'll get better. If you eat one meal a day, it'll get better. Cook the plants well, eat more rare to raw meat, add more fat, you will get better. But if it's not working, I always start there, and I always visualize. So faith is the belief in the thing you want as if it is. God always delivers you good, always. Even when you think, this isn't fair, shouldn't happen. God is like the master creator of the universe, and God is within us. If you read the book Three Magic Words or the New Testament, you'll get a sense of who and what we are. But since I'm a fertility specialist, I focus on that. But I take care of people of all gender, size, shape, age, weight, politics around the globe. And every disease is simply caused by a plant-based, low animal fat diet and 3 to 6 meals a day, which I believe. I mean, I've seen patients with at 45 couldn't get eggs, low AMH, bingo, they get pregnant on carnivore or ketovore. Carnivore's better, keto's okay. But again, carnivore, there are 3 true environmental diets for humans. Only animals, only plants, and a combination. Carnivore, herbivore, and omnivore. And so all the other scientific yickety yak, it's confusing. An animal diet. There's no fruit in an animal diet. There's fruit in a plant diet. It's animals in an animal diet. Everyone's trying to come up with their own phrases, what I think is BS in all of this. And so the inflammation in the gut affects the vulva, vagina, cervix, uterus, tubes, ovaries, and pelvis. It's all a bowel-based disease. My 30 days of carnivore, faith and fasting, the antibiotic protocol. Sometimes I'll throw in a couple other things to reduce, change the hormone levels and things like that. That's critical. And I do that in men too. It's the same problem. There's no, you're a man, you're a woman. And men and women, I don't care where you're at in your life cycle, you could fast. Fat is the fuel and the building block for your body. I'm sorry, that's all it is. Oh, but I'm on my period, or I'm premenstrual or postmenstrual. I think we're making a complicated science, because 50,000 years ago, your honey is say, honey, my period's coming. You need to go hunting and bring back food, because if I'm without food, I mean, come on. We were migrators, hunters. We did everything. And science sometimes is making it complicated. But
and 50,000 years ago, there wasn't any 7-Eleven around. But talking about those labels, which I agree with you. I usually don't like those labels if you're keto or vegan, or even because you can have a very poor diet being a vegan, even a carnivore with hot dogs. I mean, you can have a very good and a very bad diet under any label. But there's one label that I learned here, talking about another book. This one here. Right? There's one label called babies, which is not baby, right?
It's babies with the E, bacon, eggs, butter, beef, Kiltz's ice cream, salt, intermittently feasting, or spirituality.
Yeah, talk a lot. Can you talk a little bit about your diet? And even one thing I liked a lot is the ice cream, ice cream in the baby.
Well, look at, I sometimes will have a cookie cake ice cream, a cigar, whiskey, wine, or beer, and my ice cream. We live a life. I drive cars, fly planes, live with a human being. I walk across the street. I could die anytime of lots of things. I'm not here not to enjoy life. I'm here to enjoy life. But I'm being very discerning of what to put in my mind, in my mouth. That book is the intention of sharing those concepts and ideas. Keto, carnivore, you can eat some plants, but nobody's allergic to ribeye steak. That's the crazy story of this story. And I like pictures. I'm a picture guy because I couldn't read. I'm a voracious reader, by the way, and I don't use the word that I can't read. I'm a voracious reader. I listen to books. I read books. I talk about books. And I did that. We have a couple others coming around. We got some cookbooks coming around. But what do you need to learn how to cook steak? Nothing. There's no complexity to this. Well, how do I cook it? You don't. Just eat it. Cut it up, eat it, throw some salt and butter, maybe some blue cheese, and eat it. Rare to raw is better than cooked, I'll tell you that. And I'll eat some burgers, some raw meat. Like sometimes when we got a piece of chicken, sometimes when we get a bunch of chicken wings in the kitchen, and I'm like, oh, a piece of chicken dipped in some blue cheese, and I don't lose my shirt over it. I'm not one of those, oh, you can never touch that. What's that?
Good. No, that's great. I think that's a great approach because I also say it to a lot of my friends, we're not robots, right? We're human beings. We socialize.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come
Socialize.
on.
Spirituality is part of our life. So absolutely.
And I go to weddings. I'll have a bite or two or three of a cake. And I was like, oh, wow, that's amazing. Because that's not your killer. But if you don't know how to be discerning in your life, see, I don't use the word addiction ever. We are being manipulated to call ourselves, oh, I'm an addict. I can't do that. So you believe it, you believe it, you believe it. I always say, you know what? I'm capable of doing everything and anything. I'm capable of being discerning. I am a human being, and so I will live my life and do it as a being. Like I have been off coffee for 2.5 years. Oh my God, this week I had a couple of cups of coffee. Do I lose my shirt over it? No. Does that mean I'm no longer fasting properly if I had some coffee? You decide. I had a little bit of my electrolyte mix with a little stevia. Does that mean I broke my fast? I mean, you call it.
I do the same thing. When I fast, I have coffee, and I even put some heavy cream. It might have some little calories. And I said, am I going to be like ruining my fast because I put some heavy cream in my coffee? It's not. I think I'm doing better than a lot of people.
So you just touched on something very important. Cream and butter. Why are they important to drink? Because have you ever noticed that cream and butter rarely mold? You see, when you eat the fat, that's why the adipose tissue, to me, raw, it suppresses the microbes in the mouth, the esophagus, the stomach, and the gut, which reduces the microbial content. The probiotic shit is deadly. The microbiome is not your friend. It wants to eat you, take you down. It loves your diet because you eat a lot of plant diet. So the high plant diet means they proliferate. Remember, the incidence of cancer is on the rise. The incidence of diabetes on the rise. And it's getting younger and younger and younger and younger. And so what are we doing about it? Kind of nothing. We're allowing the propaganda of the food industries, the pharmaceutical industries, and the profiteers to take us down. And we're not going to do that. Eat fat. Okay, Dr. Nelson said he was having a little butter. I'm not chastising it. It's his fast, not mine. But a little bit butter, it's okay. Do what you need to do. Some bone broth, some butter. It's your fast, not mine. I'm not going to chastise your fasting. You figure it out. But I think that this is one of the problems. And I wanted to touch on goitrogenic foods.
What is that?
So, do we all know what a thyroid goiter is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Enlarged, damaged, cystic, multinodular tumors of the thyroid gland. There are known plants that cause that. Did you know that?
Yeah, broccoli is one of them.
Oh, peanuts, broccoli, asparagus, cauliflower, strawberry, soy, wine, coffee, tea. Go down the list. Nearly every plant you and I know causes damage to the thyroid gland. Do those substances only attack your thyroid gland?
I don't think so.
Oh, systemic.
So you mean that all of our diseases might be from the goitrogenic plants that damage our brain, our feet, our kidneys, our colon, our reproductive organs, our liver, everything? Wait a minute. Well, I thought those things are good for me.
Mm-hmm.
We're making a story that you think is true and real when in fact it's fake. So the more we eat those things, we get sick, they make money. But there's a journal called the United States Department of Agriculture's Journal on Plant Poisoning. What it does is it tells the people that own and raise the domesticated animals that be careful. These animals that are herbivores get sick on these plants. You might lose money. But there's no journal on plant poisoning for humans because when you get sick, we make money. Now, I'm not saying it's a conspiracy, but You know, I just use common sense. If it
So it's
damages,
bad for the animals, the herbivore, but not for us.
it's known to be damage to animals,
I
plants. I
mean,
mean,
the hypocrisy, right? The paradox. It's bad for the animals, which are herbivores, and but there's no warning for us.
that's correct. So remember, what is the prevalent diet that every doctor, every nutritionist, and every industry tells you to eat?
Grains, whole grains, rainbow veggies, the whole shebang.
A plant-based low animal fat diet, which
Yeah.
ultimately is harming all of us. And we are slaves, soldiers, peasants, and prisoners. We believe them. Well, the pharaohs, the kings, and the ancients and the slave drivers of the world knew that if I feed a lion plants, they become a dog and a cat. If I feed a human wild wolf and lion plants, they become a dog and a cat, domesticated. So ultimately, the story is simple. Plants are poisonous and meat is masterful. Why some people live longer than others on various diets, I don't know. But if you're sick, reproductive dysfunction, PCOS, endometriosis, uterine fibroids, dementia, depression, cancers, suicidality, criminality, schizophrenia, you just name it. There are thousands of diseases we label, and we say, oh, you're just unlucky. I don't know. It must be your genetics. But
Absolutely.
what if you change your diet from a plant, protein, low animal fat to a carnivore diet, which is fatty meat, salt, water, one meal a day, add the butter, and try my ice cream from time to time? Now, how many animals, or what is protein? What other animals say, I got to get my protein together today?
What animal count calories?
Okay, remember, you eat either animals or you eat plants or you might eat some bugs or mushrooms. But every cell of every animal or organism contains fat, sugars, proteins, minerals, and vitamins. Some contain more poisons than others, but no animal says, did you get your protein content today? The recommendation to make sure you get your protein is all BS. Sorry. It's like all worthless. And what other animal says, hey, did you get your powdered form of protein today?
Yeah, well,
Zero.
cereal bar, protein bar. No,
Don't do it.
no.
Don't do it.
Same thing for calories. That's why I don't buy the calories in, calories out theory. What are the animal count calories?
Because what you put in your mouth is either going to be broken down, go into your body and help you heal. Much of it's going to go out your booty and your urine, but some of it causes more gut disease and causes more damage to every cell of your body. So a gram of animal food, animals to eat, a gram of plants to eat, and depending on your state of your GI tract is going to determine whether or not those calories make it into your body and become your muscle or something else. And that's the
Absolutely. On top of that, I think Dr. Kiltz, you make a claim here in this book, and of course it's kind of well known that even from inflammation in the gut can lead to neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's and like that. Could you briefly, because you're already, I think, you're going approaching 55 minutes, and I still want you to tell us a little bit about the animal documentary. So first, I'd like to ask a little bit to talk about the neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's and the link to gut, and then the animal movie.
Well, okay, so there are microbes everywhere, bacteria and viruses everywhere. Are they in your gut? Are they on your skin? Of course they are. Okay? Are they your friend or your foe? They're there. It depends on the state of their the particular microbes or the numbers and things like that. But essentially, your diet is a high plant-based, low animal fat diet, meaning you get a lot of plant and protein. So, or lean meat. Let's just say lean meat has no fat. The microbes love lean meat. It's very fermentable. Fermentable means they can break it down and they make heat, gas, alcohol, and aldehydes. That causes a lot of inflammation in your gut. So they make chemicals that damage your neuromuscular, electromolecular, and every cellular function of your body. The same thing about plants. Not only do plants contain heroin, cocaine, marijuana, nicotine, caffeine, and other neuro damaging molecules, the fermentation or the microbial growth makes chemicals and poisons and toxins to harm you, correct? Does that microbe say, wait a minute, we've done too much harm, let's cut back because they're going to die? It wants you to be fertilizer, right?
Yeah.
And they're in cahoots with the plants because the plants ultimately control the world. They're the predators and you and I are the prey. And so are these good microbes and bad microbes. All right. Remember, that's a scientific story to sell you a pill, an idea that if, it's to publish or perish, it's all BS in my opinion. So why someone gets Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, ALS, MS, or they get diabetes or hypertension, every disease is caused by plant sugars, plant antigens, plant chemicals, fermentation of plants and the microbes, excessive exercise. Keep it simple. I don't care what disease you have. I always say, what do you eat? I ask every detail of what you eat. And then I say, okay, go fasting, eat fatty meat, raw to rare is best. Add salt, throw some butter in it, and you will reduce the inflammation in your gut. Again, now why someone gets it as an in utero infant, post utero infant, adolescent, teenager, early adult, late adult, nobody knows that answer. But that it's really simple. Is our physiology different? It is not different.
No. Yeah.
We're biologically, we're the same. We're just another carbon copy. Okay, there's a little bit of errors here and there that may predispose you to one thing or another. There are a few single gene disorders that may mean you might get more diseases. But what if, even with those genetic predispositions, it's simply your environment that you live in, you breathe, drink, eat, paste in and on your body, and your negative thinking or your positive thinking.
It's a huge role. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. I think I just want to ask one more question in Hiki. If you have just give
Yeah,
the
no
opportunity
Go
for
ahead.
to talk about the animal documentary. I'm very excited to watch the documentary. The animal have you in your head? Can you tell us a little bit about the documentary, please?
Well, so I was invited to be in the documentary called Animal. It's about the carnivore diet, and amazing group of people put it together, and it's an amazing movie with a number of the influencers and those with expertise in carnivore to share the story of why a carnivore diet is a game changer for our health and wellness. For many people who suffered many diseases, they found paleo, then keto, and then they found carnivore, and that was the game changer. I highly recommend everyone and anyone, no matter your beliefs in the diet or not, take a listen and a look at it. And it's entertaining. I'm waiting for my Emmy Award or Oscar. I have no idea which one it is, but I'll share it with everyone. We're having fun with all this. We had a great premiere in Hollywood, California, where I grew up in that area, and amazing people. I'm also working with Healing Humanity on their movie, which is documenting infinite stories about human beings that have not healed in the standard medical world, but found healing in the keto, mostly carnivore world.
It's amazing. If I'm gonna just sorry to interrupt, but I'm actually wearing the T-shirt for the Healing Humanity. a documentary as well. That's how we met. And
Yeah.
if people who are listening or viewing us can check Healing Humanity, the channel by Carrie Mann. It's also amazing, full of resources and information. Sorry, Dr. Kiltz. Please go ahead.
Well, I am so passionate about this purpose. I've donated $100,000, 50,000 right away, another 50 for matching funds for Healing Humanity because I believe in Carrie Mann's work, all the people, all the stories, and we have to invest in this. So you can go to healinghumanity.life, press the button, donate, and we're having meetups around the globe on inspiring and investing in our healthcare. We need to do it. I'm also working on another movie that Stephen Thomas is working on called Meet Your Maker, MEAT. But again, everyone and anyone should be blogging and sharing and making movies and talking about this because truthfully, the stories I'm sharing were not scientific journal articles in a prospective randomized double-blind study. They were simple human stories. The Bible is simple human stories, and I live by the Bible over Scientific America personally. I will live by that more than anything. Now that I know the standard medical system, I love all the people in medicine. I'm here to work and share this story and work with everyone. I think we need to be open to an idea that maybe our standard diet is killing us.
Yeah.
And that's the simple answer. People are allergic to the food they're eating, which is plant-based, low fat. They're getting a tremendous amount of inflammation from a low animal fat diet and 3 to 6 meals a day. And it's really simple. And you don't have to believe anything I say, but I didn't either. I just thought, wow, this is interesting. There's only one experiment. There's only N of one. It's you. And the more we can encourage every single human being at every age, if you're 90, if you're 2, this is radical. And the number of long-term care centers is rising. People are investing in more long-term care centers to make money on your disease. And I don't care who you are. The last I looked, we're all the same. And I'm just another human being. I went carnivore, faith fasting, fatty meat, typically 1 meal a day. And I go walking, I do weights, but I'm creative. I'm here making movies and making podcasts and making pottery and wearing crazy shirts and ideas. And interviewing from people around the globe, right? And I fly airplanes. I do all sorts of stuff. I do not do this to make money. I do this to make men, mommies, masters. And the last I looked, we're all God. We're all masters. We need to change what we think of that and just blow up the propaganda that we've all been taught. I do not fight against anyone. I'm fighting for a cause. The lions that have been fed like sheep, they think they're sheep. I'm going to tell you you're a lioness and a lion if you simply eat the meat and begin to see you in the mirror like the lioness and lion you are. And Jesus Christ, for the one philosopher, many philosophers of God, simply said, stand still and know that God is within all of us. And we're lions, not sheep. And we're here as lions to lead sheep in order to come to the lion side. That's it.
Yeah. Great. I think that's a great wrap-up message.
Excellent. I think it's looking forward. Have the movies are available in Brazil? Is it, Henrique?
I don't know. They're working to have it globally streaming. You know, they got to make deals in every country for whatever reason. But I don't know. There's some VPN ways you could get through all the tunnels and things like that. But I did not believe this years ago. I'm Italian. I'm a Mediterranean eater, by the way. But you know, I thought, gee, just suffering. I don't know why. Unlucky, but I love this food. I'll keep doing it. But we are the most expensive, valuable, irreplaceable entities in the universe. make yourself the temple, not the amusement park, the Ferrari, not the Yugo, and you do it right now. I don't care what you're suffering from. You let go of all that shit and thank God for all the gifts He's given you to make you stronger. And you join us, Lions.
Great, that's a great point. I think the great point is to wrap up messages. If you don't believe in everything we said, just try it yourself. Try for
Yeah.
3 days, 7 days, see how you feel, and then go from it.
Yeah.
30 days is a good number, I think.
I think.
And maybe I'll do 30 days no food, but not yet.
Okay.
Wow, that's.
Maybe I'll do butter and bone broth and butter for a month, and brain, butter and bone broth for a month. That might be a fun one.
That'll be doable. That'll be doable. Hard but doable.
And I must say, if we didn't put it in there, fiber is deadly for humanity. It's all a lie. It's all BS. Don't believe them. Don't believe those that want to make us sheep. Be a lion.
Yes.
I appreciate you guys so much for this invitation and
Do you have
sharing.
any questions for any of us? I know you were the interviewed. Do
Oh,
you have any questions for us? You might want to know.
well, maybe you can each just for a moment tell me what got you into this carnivore world.
Yeah, I began carnivore in 2019. I got knowledge of low carb in 2017. Then I went keto on 2018, and I began my nutrition graduation and carnivore in 2019. It was a easy evolution of the diet.
Yeah.
As soon as you go low carb and you go keto and you think I don't want to eat those vegetables and I just want the meat, and that was this with me. And you, Daniel?
Yeah.
Was somehow similar. I started learning about low carb, and the first time I saw, I said, well, "What do you mean no bread? Are you kidding me? That's my breakfast every day, and lunch is pizza, and dinner is potatoes, and another pizza sometimes." And I said, "What do you mean low carb? That's nonsense." But then I said, "You know what? Let me give it a try." For a few days. And then, long story short, I lost tons of weight. I was a little overweight. I've always been a runner. So even running long distance and everything, I was overweight. I was having some issues with my health, tachycardia and palpitations, and even shingles I had. My immune system was completely horrible. Anyway, so I improved my health a lot. And then one thing evolved to the other, going low carb and lower and lower and lower. And then I decided sometimes I stay ketogenic lots of times. I don't consider myself 100% carnivore because I do have not only dairy and butter and other animal based, but I do have sometimes I have some starches and some foods here and in there. I think I go days and weeks fully carnivore, but sometimes I have some vegetables here and there. As I said, we're not robots, and I enjoy them anyway. And I allow myself to have it because I don't have any underlying comorbidity or health issues right now. So I healed myself first, and then I'm allowed to have some plant foods as well. That's how I started, and I feel great also when I go carnivore, full carnivore for some extended time.
When my friend Dave Kilmer died, what I look at is what is a sneaky thing that catches up with us? We don't know that answer. I do some fries from time to time, extra crispy, fried in tallow or duck grease, and dipped in sour cream and the grease from the pan. You see, our biggest problem is low fat. So plants are less toxic when you cook them well, cut the skin away, and simplify them. So I always call myself a carnivore. See, you label as you are, and if you have a plant from time to time, I wouldn't lose your sleep over it personally, but I'm still a carnivore. That's my
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I do some home fries as well. So I don't fry them in pan. I just use a air fryer, and then I put some butter and everything and cheese. It's delicious. Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that, but again, raw fat is the healthiest thing to eat. cooked fat is not the same. That's the kick-ass of this process.
So you just get the raw fat from where to put in the fries? Just you put it.
Well. I mean, sour cream, I guess, is a little bit of butter on it, so
Oh, okay.
raw fat like
Yeah.
that, a little bit. But I would do some blue cheese, some sour cream, things like that.
Some
But
from dairy.
and my
Yeah.
biggest thing is what I do is like I'll cook my ribeye in a pan under the broiler, collect all the fat. My steak is black and blue. So what that means is the inside of the meat is cold, and the steak is undercooked. All right, that's kind of how I do it. I don't know if you could see here, but basically you see a lot of white stuff. It's
Beautiful. Yes.
a lot of white stuff there. I mean, technically, this is lightly cooked, but let me see. I got one other picture. So here's what it looks like raw. And literally, I'll cut up a steak and eat it raw like that. I'll eat that whole steak raw. Okay? Because that is the healthiest thing for humans. And who's worth more than you? Nobody. So if you're not getting the healing, eat that raw, fatty steak, eat chunks of adipose tissue. That's the healthiest thing you could do. All our cooking is glycating, oxidating, and disrupting the normal molecular structure of the food you eat. That's one of our problems.
I like my steak very rare.
Yeah, me too.
But I'm not there to eat raw yet.
Not yet, but if you take it,
I need to try. No, if it's yeah.
salt it, put it on a rack in the refrigerator, and let it dry age for a few days. Slice it up, let that dry age for a few days, and then
Right.
bites of that. That's the game changer. Again, it's really, really, really radical. You're kind of like, wait a minute, Dr. Kiltz, are you sure? Yeah. It's like amazing. But remember, as you think, so shall it be. Wow, I'm excited to try that raw ribeye, slice it up, or burger, carpaccio, or tartare. I'm going to do it
Yeah.
because I think it. Remember, you always lead with your thoughts. So my fast is going to Sunday. My fast is going to Sunday. I don't say, well, I'll see. I hope I make it. I don't know. I am fasting no food until Sunday. I'm doing water, salt water, electrolyte mix, and a little bit of coffee. But I've been off coffee for 2.5 years, so I'm not like, oh my God. But I'm not drinking all day, a couple cups, and that's it, enjoying. I think it's just a little bit like, come on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I've done a dry fast.
Good idea.
I've done a dry fast before, 3 days, no water, no food, no drinks, no nothing. A lot of people get a really great benefits from that. But remember, fasting is the most amazing spiritual experience you could ever do. And you don't need to lay around. You do it. You go out in life and you do. That's what we're here for.
And it's not expensive.
My God, I haven't eaten in 10 days. I've had 2 poops in 10 days or less, and barely any toilet paper. I'm like, whoa, it's like nothing. Carnivore.
Master in economics.
Oh my God. Remember, what's the fuel for the Ferrari? Your fat. You see, we're telling everyone, you have to make sure you get your 3 meals, 3 snacks. Brainwashed. And they're like, well, I got to get my energy. I'm starving. Well, you just been brainwashed to sell all the stupid shit that you're getting sick and fat for. And then you're taking another drug to be skinny, which only works part-time and not all the time. And most people get fat again. So listen, our job is to inspire every human being in this universe every day. And the first thing you do is you immerse yourself in watching you guys and other people. You immerse yourself in how to build the mindset. The mind is the master, and you're the master of the universe. Change your thinking, period. As you think, you lead your life. Every thought is a picture frame in front of you. This is all you're thinking. Nothing out there, but your thoughts. God is a figment of our imagination, and you better make the very best out of that dude.
Yeah.
True.
Great.
So this indeed was very, very inspirational. In the Ferrari talk, for the guys who haven't seen it yet, the Ferrari talk on TED Talk is very inspirational as well. So
Yeah,
check it out,
check
guys.
out my TED Talk, my YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Look at, and then you find me, I find you, we find other people, we find this and that. You know, we're here on a journey to be loving, kind, generous, and have hope. And hope means have only positive energy every day.
Yeah.
Great. So thank you so much, Dr. Kirsten. Before we let you go, can you share where people can find you on social media, on your Instagram or Twitter, X now? Or
Just go to drkiltz.com, DRKILTZ or DOCTRKILTZ, and you'll find me, Kiltz Health. We're working on a new platform to help people get coaching and standard medical stuff and everything right online with us.
Great.
great. And they can find your YouTube channel, which is great.
Yeah.
YouTube channel, Instagram, all the social medias.
And listen, if everyone go to a meetup, make a meetup, go meet other people, talk about it, ask questions, don't believe it. And wherever I'm at, show up, we'll talk about it, we'll give hugs, high fives, and converse. Remember, we're brothers and sisters. Life is equal. There's no hierarchy in life. We're all one. We're brothers and sisters. Let go of all this stuff. I mean, I am as special as you are, and no more special than you are, period.
Absolutely. Great point.
Yeah.
Love it.
Thank you very much, Dr.
All right.
Kiltz.
It's going to be considered of your time. Thank you so much. Enrique, I'll let you finish it up.
Ok, thank you very much for your presence. And para o pessoal que assistiu a gente, sejam muito bem-vindos à Rebelião Saudável. Eu queria só dar o último recadinho sobre a jornada da Rebelião Saudável, que nós já estamos começando a liberar as novidades. Aproveitem, entrem no grupo de esquenta, porque essa jornada vai ser super especial. Dr. Kiltz, thank you very much.
My pleasure to everyone. God bless.
God bless.
Thank you.